Meeting of the Woodbury County Zoning Commission. Today's date is September 27th, 2021. It is 6 p.m. Tonight's meeting will be audio taped and minutes will be prepared. In respect to all parties, we ask those present to turn off cell phones or set to vibrate. Those in attendance are asked to legibly complete the attendance sheet upon the front table. I would like to take a moment to review the procedures that the commission will follow tonight. First, the commission will handle the normal housekeeping agenda items, and for each application on the agenda, I will open the public hearing on the item. The planning and zoning staff will then present the staff report, including the staff recommendation. Any letters or other communication received from the public prior to the hearing will be entered into the record. The applicant will then have the opportunity to present his or her case and respond to staff report. Next, we will hear comments from the public. If you would like to speak either in support of or against the application, let's come to the microphone. Please first state your name and address for the record. All interested parties shall be heard, but repetitious comments should be avoided. Repetitious or irrelevant comments may be ruled out of order by the chair. I ask that you remain respectful and courteous with your comments at all times. After all public comments have been heard, staff and applicant may make a closing statement. The hearing shall then be closed by motion and vote. Thereafter, no further comments from the staff, public, or applicant may be heard unless asked for by the commission. The commission shall then deliberate the case and may ask questions of the applicant, the staff, or any party offering testimony. However, such questions do not reopen the hearing for additional comments from the public unless so requested or approved by the commission. The commission will then formulate and vote on a motion. The motion will typically either grant or deny the requested application. Any commission members who has an ex parte communication to place in the record of this meeting should do so prior to the beginning of deliberation of the respective agenda item. Having said that, do we need roll call?
Let the minutes reflect that all commissioners are present.
Okay. Third item on the agenda then is public comment on matters not on the agenda. Do you have anything, anybody on the phone?
No.
Okay. Next item on the agenda, item number 4, is approval of the minutes of August 23rd, 2021.
I'll make a motion to approve them.
We've got a motion, okay, second, okay, motion and a second, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Okay, approval of the minutes has occurred. Item number 5 on the order of business is a public hearing for Welling Farms LC. James, do you want to read that information into the record?
Yes, Llewellyn Farms LC has filed an application for a zoning ordinance map amendment rezone on the parcel identified as 894634300004, which, as referenced above, the zoning district is from the limited industrial to the agricultural estate zoning district for the purpose of combining the 7.93 acre parcel with their abutting farm ground, which has 4.28 acres, which is identified as parcel 894634300005. This proposal has been properly noticed in the Sioux City Journal's legal section on September 11th. The neighbors within 1,000 feet have been duly notified via September 10th letter about tonight's September 27th Zoning Commission public hearing and have been requested to comment. As of today, no comments or inquiries have been received about the proposal. Appropriate stakeholders, including government agencies, utilities, and organizations, have been notified and have been requested to comment. No objections were received from the stakeholders. This property is not located in the floodplain. Based on the information received and the requirements set forth in the general plan and zoning ordinance, this proposal meets the appropriate criteria for approval. It is the recommendation of staff to approve this proposal. And just for some general background, basically what this is about is a boundary adjustment. This is all about farm ground that has been farmed historically on the north side of this parcel. And the applicant has purchased the north part of this parcel, which has been split. This is very routine, and what happens is We call this a boundary adjustment in the zoning ordinance, where the applicant would be required to contact the county assessor and request that this north portion be combined into the abutting piece, as was referenced in the note. Now, when we go and flip on the zoning district, you will notice that this portion is limited industrial and the other portion is agricultural estates, which makes it impossible for the assessor to effectively make the combination. What was provided in your packet was a copy of the deed that was recorded that puts the top portion in the applicant's name and gives them the beginning steps of going to the assessor to make the combination. This request has nothing to do with development or other aspects of any kind other than retaining the farming operation and simply absorbing the north part up into the agricultural estates. This would be required so that there's also no subdivision requirements implemented, or it can simply be called boundary adjustment is what their full intention is. But that's all I have.
I'm assuming by the attendance that we have here tonight, we have no one from the public that wants to speak to this. Okay, do you guys have, Mr. Llewellyn, do you have anything you want to add to any of the comments that were made tonight?
Just gonna continue being farmlands in the middle of the farm, so
Okay.
farm it before, just keep farming.
Okay. Okay, so,
No intention of, putting out something like that, so.
anybody have any questions they want to ask or statements?
Really not.
Okay, pretty cut and dried, everybody feels? Okay, do you want to make a motion to go into closed session?
I'll move that.
Okay, and a second.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, we're now in closed session. Okay. We have evaluation criteria there. Does everybody agree with the information that was in your criteria? Comments or questions concerning that?
I think it's pretty straightforward. If you look at the plan and what the use is, and the surrounding properties are, that's suitable designation.
Makes complete sense. I was like, see, maybe go back into ag myself.
Well, that's the whole thing of that, it's just not.
So,
Physical, yeah.
right, right. Yeah. Okay. Make this short and sweet.
Move to approve it.
Motion to approve and recommend to the Board of Adjustment or Board of Supervisors.
I'll make that motion.
Okay. The rezone request is proposed. Okay, we have a motion.
Can I second that?
Yes, you can.
Thank you.
I'm not sure if you had a question or not, but yes, that was a question. Yes, you can. So we have a motion. And a second. My school teacher has gotten. We have a student that has a question. Let's ask. Okay. Okay, we have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Okay, we are recommending to the Board of Supervisors, this rezone request occur as written. About as easy as we can make it.
Big changes.
No, no, yes, sir.
And if you can walk out during session, I can get what you want.
Yeah, that's exactly what you get to do.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. Be careful out there in the fields.
Yeah.
Take care.
Just teaching.
Okay, so the next item on the agenda is public comment on matters not on the agenda. And being as we have no one else here at the meeting or on the phone, we'll move on to item number 7, which is a staff update.
Not much to report other than we've got the October 6th refresher training for the tenured members or for the new ones. It'd be a new training by ISU Extension. And it's just the, what do you call it, the introduction to planning and zoning, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yep. For local officials. So the Board of Supervisors have been invited as well as Board of Adjustment Division folks.
Are you getting good response for people who want to attend?
I think we got pretty good so far.
Okay.
Dawn sent me an email today reminding me, but I can't remember off the top of my head who's committed to going. How you and, are you folks?
Can I RSVP right now?
Yep, right now.
Okay.
Check my schedule.
Tom,
What's you getting me for a deadline?
Four.
how many,
I think
just miss it.
We'll be there, so if you can come.
We'll take notes.
And yeah, and we'll have a meal provided, and so it should be a good event, and we're gonna try to bring some additional questions, some things about like bylaws and some of those other things that we've been talking about this year. So
And we have, how many different counties usually can come to this? Are there,
this one is actually just for us.
for us?
Yeah.
Okay, because I've always liked the ones in the past where we have multiple counties coming in and they have various topics that we don't really talk about. So I like to hear what their issues are,
Oh,
what they're doing and changes. It's like, okay, it's kind of a heads up. But
It's an anthem, is that right?
Yep, at the fireside.
I should be able to make it.
Okay, great.
Stay highly profitable.
Maybe Tom,
Dollars.
maybe Tom will drive me.
Have you heard any more on the annexation and the DOT?
No.
Had some people asking some questions about, is this going in, is that going? It's still just DOT ground, they're not taking any other ground.
It's just
DOT.
it's DOT, for the annexation.
Yeah,
yes.
there's no involuntary annexation. That's kind of what I relayed.
That has been the one thing that the city has communicated, and they try to make it abundantly clear that they're not grabbing anything else.
Do you get the letters, things you're so close? Are you within that area? You're not,
I haven't gotten anything.
or the maps?
Must be outside the distance, I don't know, what is it, 1,000 feet?
Well, I don't know for their,
I don't know what, I haven't gotten any,
Okay.
but it's been honestly kind of an awkward situation because they're just going to town, moving dirt. They've got a grading permit from the DOT's got an older one that's still active and that they can work off of, but I just feel weird, you know? Like, hopefully nothing starts going up, vertically, before.
They get all
They-
that.
I don't think they're gonna do
Do it
anything.
in order.
They've got the surcharge and stuff, I mean, they'll sit for a while, so I'm assuming they'll be done with their process.
Well, because what they asked was, they asked us to waive our jurisdiction. And I said that I don't think that that's possible. I think that the code allows us to waive our subdivision jurisdiction, but like our zoning jurisdiction, no, I don't think that makes sense. And Joshua agreed, and that's the last thing that we've heard was Joshua and Nicole, our county attorney and the city attorney were supposed to talk, and that's kind of the last thing I heard.
Well, you know, their public meeting is Thursday.
And there is no real issue, as long as they have the permit for the dirt work prior to it's valid.
Yeah,
They don't have to do anything, they're not rezoning, they're doing, so they're within their guidelines right now.
Yeah.
Or the county's guidelines, that whatever they're doing is okay right now, so unless, like you said, they start.
porn and
Bill.
yeah, that's what I'm like.
So are there actually utilities out to that site already?
Yeah,
Because there's,
they're like they're nearby.
I was gonna say, I thought they put a lot of that in years ago, even when the churches went up, I thought.
Yeah, I think they just gotta tap into it, so it's not that far, but on the permitting stuff, they asked us to just like, let it go while they do the annexation stuff, but I don't think we technically can, so. So I don't know, I mean, like I
They
said.
see them digging footings and stuff.
Give you a call, yeah, everybody's watching
Yeah,
this.
we'll
Uh-huh.
don our badges and go out there.
Arresting people. Yeah, good, start flashing your badge. Well, I know that whole interchange though, that's all changing, lights and off ramps.
Yeah, there's all sorts of,
They're gonna put lights up all over the place out there.
they are gonna put the lights up.
Yeah, Sounds like
Well,
it.
that's, once it's city property or within city limits, then they can.
Mhm.
Now that it's.
Oh,
they
okay,
can't.
now.
Because that was all designed years ago, and the code really designed in fit the new standards, even though they did their work. By the time they decided to go ahead and do it, it was not within the standards anymore, so couldn't use any of the stuff that they'd done.
It's interesting.
Yes.
You know, they could have, if they poured that right away and had it done, that's what it would have been.
Mhm.
And you heard the same thing, once the city limits, then they put stoplights and they don't.
They can put lights in everywhere. Yeah.
Oh,
Even though it's an interstate. I mean,
No, I don't, that's not interstate, is it?
No, it wouldn't be, no, it wouldn't be interstate,
it's
it's be,
29 bypass.
It's
Yeah.
actually, that's 75 by, that's not a,
Oh,
that's not interstate,
yeah, it's called.
I think that's,
it's a state highway.
so, yeah,
Interesting.
anyhow, what I heard is within the city limits, then the rules change on what they can and can't do. I don't know anything about the lights or what they're doing.
Be like a real city, huh?
Don't encourage.
And then the one subdivision that they did ask us to waive our jurisdiction over, isn't really going anywhere, is what I hear.
Which is,
The big, development over there right behind that church, by the Casey's over by ISU.
yeah, they pour
Koskovich one.
it.
So is that going up or no?
I see construction going on.
It is.
There's grading going on.
Okay.
There's a lot of grading.
Yeah, well, yeah, I saw full of grading, but then I heard that they don't have any
Uninstalled.
financing or something. Yeah, I don't know. So I don't know what happened.
Interesting.
I don't know. Maybe I'm spreading rumors. I should shut up.
Because there's something else.
We'll strike that from the minutes.
We like, yeah, we like to investigate these
Good
things.
thing I'm writing the minutes.
Okay, so another question then, matter of fact, I should have asked him while he was here, Steve Fulani brought up that there's pipelines. There's some meeting with pipelines that are connecting with farmers out in that area.
There's I forget the name of the
You heard
company.
The one that goes, what we talking about?
The pipelines out by Fulani, he was talking about the pipeline companies are contacting farmers that they're
Yeah.
willing to connect to a pipeline.
Well, there's
Magellan?
proposed carbon,
Yes.
yeah.
What is
Carbon
it?
sequestration.
That's gonna be ran up to the,
Ethanol.
no, well, from the ethanol plants to the North Dakota fracking, they pump in the ground.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and that'd be east of, well, it probably goes through some Steve.
It is, because he approached me on it, like, he says, you're zoning, and I said, yeah, county, he goes, well, what about all this? And
It's
it's
right
like,
on the north.
County engineer, let us know that.
I had,
He's got that.
I had. So, he did let you know?
Yeah, he said, don't worry, guys, I got it, because he says it's all easement stuff. And
Okay.
that him and the other engineers in the other counties that are involved will get together and hire a consultant, is what he would prefer to do a lot of this stuff. And we asked him if he needed us, what do you want as coach? And he said, on the bench right now.
Out of the way.
Yeah. But Dan did attend the public meeting, the informational meeting, and,
Which was it, when, and how did they distribute the information, and who was included, and,
well,
because I'm kind of in that area.
gosh,
It wasn't.
They weren't real clear on it, but I imagine they notified people regulatory in the zones that they were looking in the path, yeah.
Okay.
It's Charles, that?
Yeah, I think that was
It's
in,
right along North Carl was that ground to there, it's gonna go through that piece, just east of our over.
yeah, that meeting that I went to with Mark, basically, was regulatory that initiated them to allow to start talking to the landowners about the easement agreements and everything. So they're gonna have to spend a couple years kind of figuring out what is feasible, what is not feasible. And so they have a series of checkpoints, but I think they'd love to have 2022 and 2023 as kind of having that figured out.
Their goals.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's kind of the proposed route, but doesn't mean it's set in stone that direction.
In fact, that meeting was kind of designed where they laid out the information, they gave folks the microphone to air their concerns and everything at that point. And they had a table going back too, where folks could kind of have a general idea and start talking to the easement folks as well, so to kind of begin that conversation.
So were you guys involved in that meeting?
I just attended as an observer with the county engineer as well.
Okay.
Kind of.
I wouldn't mind being involved in those meetings if you kind of,
Did they mention the
If I can
size of
hear.
the line?
What's that?
Did they mention the size of the line that they require?
They had some of that. I don't know off the top of my head what the dimensions were, but I know they even talked about the types of metal. And one person said, why not aluminum? So they were kind of really looking at, some of those aspects.
okay. Love the information. Interesting. So it's affecting you.
No, it's east of our
Oh,
north farm is where the line's proposed to go through.
okay.
I-
North
I-
and south then, Carroll Avenue? Is that what you said?
Well, no, it's east of, is it Charles to the east?
Charles.
The next one over.
Charles would be the next one over the east.
Yeah, it would be east of Charles Avenue. And I don't know the angle that it's gonna go through. or
Yeah.
anything,
Look at that one.
but
Just
It's,
make
Yeah, we're
that
not
big.
too far from it.
Make that bigger.
and then that pipeline
That's Charles. Yeah.
runs through the, where the DOT ground is, that's an abandoned line that they're taking out. We're gonna remove that. That's why I was curious, that size line, but that's what they say, explain, I'm sure it's not something.
I know in
Not
your area
not
that
a gas line, is it?
What's that?
Not that hydrous line, is it an hydrous line there?
No, that's,
Propane line?
that's, I don't know if that one, I don't know what ran through that last Enterprise had that last time it was used.
I guess there's one line, I guess, marked there that comes by my house too there.
Well, but I don't know if that is at the same line, because there's three that go through our property, and then they split off, I don't know which direct, one of them goes through that.
How deep do they put it under there?
The one that we have is, there's spots that's only 6 inches. It's shallow, but that's, they expand in that line, so. But yeah. it's-
Be careful with your bee ripper.
Well, that's kind of a free drift rack, because they don't want us farming over, so we took it out of production. Because they don't want to bury it, it's an asbestos wrap line, and if they expose it, then they have to remove it. And just through our property, it was like $1 million to lower that line. So
Wow.
they decided to just pay us to not farm.
Where's that at then?
You know where all the trees are at home there, and that grew up that I need to pull?
Yeah.
That's the piece.
Okay.
It's dark.
No. That way we can put the puzzle pieces all together.
Well, I'm just curious, this line, if there's a way they could utilize an existing line that doesn't have a purpose, but I'm sure it's a lot bigger line. Probably not the same.
That question did come up on utilized lines if they could hook to them, and they kind of said how did they say that? It'd be nice to be able to use them, but that type of response.
Well, that's another thing, is some of those lines are dedicated for a certain purpose, and if they change that purpose, the easements are no good, then they gotta go out through anyhow, so might reach just as much headache. Let's put that in line.
Do we have anybody fishing around for locations for solar or wind? Have you heard anything? I'm thinking Port Neal area.
I had somebody reach out to me, they stopped out at my house, they bought the packing off. Around, going down there,
Really?
yeah. We have,
All solar?
yeah. Yeah, we have some land down by Sergeant Bluff and my son got to talk to him, I was going, I guess. I didn't teach him to not answer the door.
Especially with suspicion.
She said, yeah, he's got it in the deal first.
It's crazy. I mean, I think, and they're looking for they're looking for options on the land, pay, a little few dollars a year. And then they want a 20-year lease with 10-year term renewals, I think. And I think they're paying $600 an acre on year one with an increase of like 6-8% a year, every year after that, which becomes pretty big cash rent payments after years. So.
So have you guys heard anything?
We actually just, Dan fielded an email the other day and said we're gonna meet with a representative from a renewables company, next couple weeks. On
It's
sixth.
actually the same day
October
as
6th.
So we'll have something to talk about then.
See what they've got to say. I don't know, I did hear that, there was gonna be a solar farm, the one in, Salix, but I haven't heard anything about that one. It's inside Salix city limit, right by their, water utilities.
Right.
There's a small one right across from Port Neal. On that, at that blacktop, it goes north and south there. There's a small one there, acres, says 10 acres or something. I'm putting it right there.
The landowners just showed me a letter from some agency that contacted them, asked if they were interested in selling land for,
Really?
yeah.
So what do you folks think about, like, our ordinance really is not designed for those types of projects for the solar. We did the one for Mid-American on a conditional use and it was pretty much just, our setbacks.
that was setbacks.
And so, I know that there's been, I don't know, like, if, we should probably want to reevaluate that or hold some kind of, public input meeting to determine like how we go about handling those types of projects. I don't know, we want to look at like CSR ratings, or I really haven't gotten into like what other counties or other jurisdictions actually do. But I do think that
Probably a good idea to get in front of it.
people seem to, be less, I feel like people would rather see a windmill go up than a solar farm go up because of the land that they would take up. And so if that's a concern, then we should probably write our ordinance in a way that.
But you've got both sides of the issue there too, because I think the farmer doesn't like to see the land lost that, but then with the nature part of it, the windmills are more invasive for the low hills. You got both sides, there's two different, I mean, people that are adamant against wind farms that don't care about solar.
Well, and then you have the other group that,
You have the other, because the solar does take,
Makes a lot of land. Makes a
pretty
lot
good
of
chunk of ground.
right,
But I mean, turbines, if you figure that the area they encompass, just because there's one here, but there's another one, and they're spread out all over.
And then the roads to get to it.
Yeah, I mean, solar probably is less invasive in reality, because like you said, just the roads, everything they gotta do to each turbine. But you're right, we probably need something to address it. Probably not gonna have a ton of them, because it's like within so many miles.
Yeah, they want to be down by the plant.
They want them right there, the transmission lines, the location, the plant, so you got a certain area that you're looking at, you're not gonna have to go up out like old. Yeah, that's not.
unless REC gets involved.
No,
But then they're
I'm
fine.
just seeing, you're not gonna see them spread out,
Right,
well, even in commercial wind farms, you're not gonna see those going up everywhere in Woodbury County, so. But you just comment there, you probably get in front of it.
be curious to see what county.
That probably would start, see what other counties have done.
I'll start collecting some and then start feeding you guys some information for the next meeting.
Something
We'll find
comparable.
out.
Don't go to folk.
And the same thing too with like you did with the wind turbines or, commercial wind farm is above X amount.
Mhm.
The small solar stuff is not that.
Yeah.
I mean, as long as there's funding, as long as that seems to be where Iowa's going and the governor's taking us, with the renewable energies and stuff.
But I think the federal dictate
Yeah.
how fast that stuff goes up.
Mhm.
And and as far as I recall, we've done one residential a year or two ago, and then we had the one with Mid-American, so kind of a commercial versus a residential. And in the last couple of weeks, I've had a lot of inquiries lately about the residential version, where they put those on the houses, and technically that falls under the conditional use too. like we did. I'm trying to
Or
think
even
of,
if it's on a house, on the roof, if it's on the roof, it's still under.
basically, yeah, it's kind of falls under that utility section.
Yeah.
in the
I kind of think that it
use.
should be an allowed use, you know,
And-
it feels a little extra that it running through a conditional use. Sioux City doesn't require it for their.
Yeah, I
ordinance.
guess if it's on a roof of a house, it's no, not really different than saying, well, we won't like put a metal roof on it.
That's right,
That's
that's
kind
not
of what it-
dictating your shingles, right?
I mean, I don't know, I guess they don't look just like shingles, but neither does certain roof, that would be.
Mhm.
I asked they have these permit specialists that call and feel out, you know, what the ground is in the counties. And I asked them, how many, do you run into conditional uses very much or permits? And well, we run into permit, just the regular building permit quite a bit on it. And like David said, it's Sioux City, but we do fall under that conditional use, the same way we would with like personal wind, basically.
There seems to be a lot more interest and a lot more financing funding available.
I do expect us to see one here pretty soon. So, just a residential, put one on your property.
See ads or something on Facebook all the time, it's just like homeowners or whatever.
There's one company
Yeah.
there's a company I suspect it's very much marketing to Woodbury County residents.
Well, there's
I mean, if you
local
could, if you
people
could
involved in
mow them
that.
on
And
a
they,
house roof or in a small backyard and take away the need to go out and, I know Mid-America's gonna put in large farms, but do more in areas that they're not really impacted. Ag or the,
And put them on your machine sheds.
yeah, I mean, you know, why can't a metal roof on a metal building be all solar panels?
And they can likely get their, under their ag exemption, but kind of
Right,
more.
like you said, maybe
dense.
it's those types of things, maybe should just be an allowed use, and it's simpler if it doesn't interfere with.
Yeah.
And one of them that I had is there a difference between the more dense suburban residential, which if you look at where Sioux City's likely allowing them versus we've had one request in the 2-acre area, which of course is more spread out. So lots of things to think about.
yeah, but you said a key thing, as long as they don't bother the neighbors.
Well, okay, like I said, if it's panels on a roof, that really isn't any different than a metal roof. If somebody put on a solar metal roof,
Mhm.
that's gonna be uglier than the panels. But you can do that, you know, I guess.
The hog confinement would be worse than the.
There you go.
Remember those big old antennas or the satellite dishes?
Satellite
I
dish.
remember my grandparents had one, this thing was like huge.
UFO in itself. Oh, shoot. All right, well, it sounds like we had staff update and commissioners' comments or inquiries at the same time. Is there anything other than that? With inquiries, commissioner? Staff, anything else you want to add? Okay. I'm all for adjourning.
Move to adjourn.
Second,
Second.
all in favor? Hip hip hooray.
Everybody says you should oppose at least once.